Good morning, everyone. For those here that don't know me, my name is Val and I'm Vicky's older sister. I would like to start by thanking you all for coming today to pay tribute to Vicky, either in person or online. With recent COVID restrictions, it has made it very difficult for many people to attend personally as they would have wished to. We all have our own memories of Vicky, and to sum that up is hard as she was so special to us in many different ways. Vicky is the daughter of Roger and Pat Rowland, who most, if not all of you, would know. Vicky was born at Sutherland Hospital on the 11th of January 1962, a younger sister for her brother Brian and me, and later she became an older sister to Michelle. Unfortunately, Michelle is unable to attend today as she is somewhere in the middle of nowhere in Western Australia, and we all know how hard that border is to cross. While Vicky was born in the Shire, and after living at Engadine for a number of years, the family moved to Barreel Lake, next door to Ulladulla. Here we lived an idyllic life and where Vicky developed a love for swimming and the beach, and in later years shared many amazing photos of the ocean. Her first school was Star of the Sea School at Milton, and I think that's where she developed her love for somersaults as well as her love for reading. In 1973, we moved back to Cronulla, and Vicky attended St Aloysius School in Year 6 before going to Woolooware High School. Vicky had a love of maths and economics, and also played netball and became a fierce squash player, which she played regularly for a number of years. During this time, we would holiday down at Sussex Inlet, where Michelle recalls how Vicky taught her to do somersaults in the water, as well as naming a section of bush Moonflower after the album by Santana. Vicky always had a love for music, which perhaps changed over time, but that love was always there. She even won a Coke competition once and ended up on a harbour cruise to the launch of Jimmy Barnes's Working Class Man album. After leaving school, Vicky worked for the Commonwealth Bank for over 20 years, during which time she became a bank manager, and prior to leaving she was responsible for rolling out one of the bank's new computer software and training staff in its use. Not to mention she was also involved in a couple of hold-ups at the Redfern branch she was working at the time. After leaving the bank, Vicky worked as a medical receptionist in Woolooware and also as a cook for the priest and at a boarding house until she became our mother's carer. This more relaxed lifestyle allowed Vicky to attend masses during the week and to take a dip at the Shelley Beach rock pool and to begin her daily ritual of a coffee in the mall. Anna's coffee shop in the last few years became like a second home to Vicky, where she sat and chatted with friends and where she shared another of her loves through the book club at Anna's. During this time, Vicky also taught scripture at Woolooware Primary School and assisted many people with their sacraments, as well as being involved in the Lent and Advent programs. Last Saturday, I found a folder with cards and drawings done by these students that she treasured. Being Mum's carer after Dad passed away allowed Mum to stay in her own home and to do the things that she would not otherwise have been able to do. Caring for an elderly parent is not for everyone, but thankfully we had Vicky that took on that role and allowed Mum the dignity to live out her final years feeling cared for and loved. Vicky loved family and friends gathering, which included Vicky bringing some delicious food, and Vicky spoke her love through gift giving, and I'm sure many of you were the recipient of thoughtful small gifts from her from time to time. I remember her giving my youngest son Todd a Bob the Builder lunchbox when he became an apprentice carpenter. It was not just the gift, but often the card she may have given you, as many of them were custom made by her. Another of her gifts was likely to be photographs, for she loved taking photos and she would take the effort to have them downloaded and printed to give to family and friends. After Mum passed away, Vicky moved to Cronulla, close to St Aloysius, the beaches and the heart of Cronulla. Besides attending Mass most days, Vicky was an active member of the St Aloysius Church family, as well as working passionately for St Vincent de Paul Society, where she became the president of the Cronulla area. What else did Vicky like? Well, she liked sunrises, sunsets, flowers, stage shows and musicals, her nieces and nephews, her lifelong friends, Easter and Christmas. Especially Christmas, as she could then act like a big kid again. And not because she might receive gifts, but because for most it is a happy time and a time for giving. Growing up, The Little Drummer Boy was her favourite Christmas show. She had a great sense of humour and was one of the kindest, most thoughtful people that I know. Her passing will leave a big void for many people, and to be honest, until now, I did not know how many. The messages of love and outpouring of respect from people she knew, those through her work with streaming the church services and the St Aloysius community, has been humbling. Vicky had a heart of gold, and the world needs more Vickies. I'm so proud of the life she lived and the impact she has made, but most of all, that she was my sister. And along with many of you, I will love her, miss her, and hold her in my heart and memories always.